Alhamdulillah. I just want to take a moment to like. Oh, sorry, okay. Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I have made something very special indeed. It's called dolma. If you're Iraqi, I'm sure you're very familiar with it. But of course, this is just my kind of version of it, my take. To a lot of people, dolma is specifically like the vine leaves, the stuffed vine leaves, which is this thing here. You can get it in a jar or you can get it in like a packet. That's this one here. There's loads of different brands and stuff. But to be honest, me personally, I just don't really I just think it's overrated. I know that's going to offend many of you, but yeah, for me personally, I much prefer when it's made with citrussy or Swiss chard, which is basically like a big green leaf. I'll put a picture of it somewhere just in case anyone isn't familiar with it. Also, this isn't like a weeknight recipe that you just want to whip up if you're really hungry. This is more of like a chilled Sunday when you want to spend a good bit of time on the dish. So yeah, I really hope you enjoy it. Thanks a lot and see you in a bit. Okay, so I'm just starting off by chopping up all of the vegetables that I'm going to be including in the stuffing filling for the vegetables and the chard. So as you can see, I'm just finally chopping up an onion, 2 tomatoes. As always, I'm going to have the full written recipe down in the description, so don't worry if you miss anything. And I'm just doing some spring onions here. The nice thing about the spring onions is you're getting the onioniness, but then also a bit of it greens as well. But to be honest, with the vegetables that you want to use for the filling, you can just have fun with it and use whatever veggies you like, really. So I've just gone for some onion, tomatoes, spring onions, and you want to be quite generous with your herbs here as well. Fresh herbs work really well in this and give some great flavour. I'm just going in with some fresh parsley because I love parsley, but you can use whatever fresh herbs that you like. And then me and Mom just saw this yellow courgette at our vegetable shop close to us and just thought it was really beautiful, so we went ahead and got it. So I'm just basically using half of the courgette for the filling, so I'm going to finally chop that up with like the other vegetables, but then the other half I'm saving so that we can stuff it at the end and have it as part of the dolma. And then I've also got just these wee mini courgettes here that I'm going to use, and then I'm basically saving the little top of it that I've taken out to use as a kind of lid later on once I've put the stuffing inside. And then I'm just removing all of the kind of, not all of the, but most of the insides, so that it's left kind of hollow. And then basically with all of the kind of scraps, like all of the insides of the vegetables, we're not going to get rid of that. I'm going to keep that so that I can chop them all up and keep them as part of the filling stuffing mixture. And then I've also just got these mini aubergines here. If you can find these mini aubergines, they work well rather than the big ones, of course. And then I just took off the kind of, the leaves that you get at the top. And then just the same as the courgettes, just took off the top, saved it so that I can use it later on to kind of use as a lid. And then apologies, it's a bit out of frame here, but yeah, I'm just taking that off, and then same with the courgette, just taking out all of the insides. And then I've also got a little tomato here, just doing the same, taking off the top, saving it so that I can use it as a kind of lid later on. And then I'm just kind of finally chopping up all of those insides that we took out. It doesn't look too pleasant right now, but once we mix everything together, it will be looking great. And then I actually used, so this red pepper, and then I had a yellow pepper and a green pepper as well. And with this, obviously there's no like insides to take out, so I'm basically just taking off the little top bit, and then removing the seeds, as well as the kind of, stem bits from the inside. And then we're going to stuff that along with the other vegetables. And then basically with the chard, obviously like I said, I'm going to be wrapping them, but a bunch of them came either like torn or, you know, with little holes in them. So, you know, don't get rid of those, just give everything a really good wash. And then I'm just going to be finely chopping them to add to the filling. And then I've got an onion here. We got these really large onions, but to be honest, I don't think it was totally necessary. I think you could use a normal sized onion. I've peeled it and I'm just kind of taking out the, you know, bottom bit, the core bit or whatever. And then I'll show you what I do. Basically, I kind of, I don't even know what to call this, but you see what I'm doing. And basically the intention was to soften it, so that it was easier to take everything out. And basically I just like cut it not in half, but to the center from one side, so that I can take out the layers from the inside so that we can stuff them with the filling. The onion ones are really good, so I definitely recommend using the onion ones, even if you don't want to use some of the other vegetables. Okay, and we've got all of that filling here. Basically, I'm just adding some flavour to it now. So I just minced in 2 cloves of garlic. All of these are, you know, kind of optional, just depends on the flavours that you like, but a bit of garlic is nice. And then I'm seasoning it with a good bit of salt. And then I'm just adding in a bit of ground black pepper here as well. And again, this is optional, but I decided to add in just a few chili flakes as well. And then here I've just got some tamarind, that I'm going to be adding just about 2 teaspoons or so of. And this stuff is great because, I mean, if you've never tried it, it's got a very lovely citrusy flavour. So it's great to use here. And then I've got some pomegranate molasses, which again adds to the citrus, but then adds a little bit of sweetness as well to balance everything out. Again, just about a couple of teaspoons as well. And then I'm adding in just about a tablespoon of tomato paste, not too much, but just a little bit to add to the flavour. And then the juice of half a lemon as well. If you like it super citrusy, I'd recommend adding the juice of the full lemon here, but I'm going to be adding some more of this flavouring later on as well to build up the flavour. And then I'm just giving everything a really good mix, and then in a second I'm going to be adding in my rice here. Oh, I forgot about the oil. I'm adding in a good bit of oil here as well. Basically, not traditionally, but a lot of the time dolma is made with mince, so I wanted to make sure to add in a good bit of oil so that there's enough kind of fat in there, because obviously I've not got any meat in there, like no fat from the mince. So yeah, added in a good bit of olive oil. And then basically with my rice here, I did have this soaking for just about an hour, and then I just rinsed it a couple of times, and then I'm just kind of adding it in bit by bit. I could have just added it in all at once, to be honest, but whatever. And basically with the rice, we use this kind of short grain rice, but to be honest, you could just use basmati, whatever you like. And then basically here, so with the chard, obviously apart from the leaves, you get these white bits, so don't get rid of that. We can use that. I've basically just put that at the bottom of the pan, and then under that was what I just showed you. We had the broad beans under there as well, and I also put some olive oil on the bottom of that pan as well. And basically I just got that pan ready, or pot, whatever, so that we can start layering the vegetables. So basically for the vegetables we're using, the order is kind of onions first, peppers, courgettes, aubergine, and then you want to have if you're going to be using chard, you want to have that on top, because it's just, you know, the kind of order that they take to cook. And I'm just basically showing you how I kind of wrap the onions, and then with the aubergines and the courgettes, you want to puncture them just a little bit so they can cook evenly, and so that the moisture distributes nicely, and so that the rice gets all cooked. You don't want to like overfill it so that it's totally stuffed, but just fill it to roughly the top, and then use the little lids that we kept from earlier to close all the vegetables up. And as you can see, some of the onions that I've got here are kind of broken a little bit, but just as long as you manage to close them up, even if you need to use 2 pieces, that's totally fine. We're not perfectionists here. We just want delicious food, to be honest. So don't worry about a bit of rustic. We'll call it rustic style. Then with the citrussy or the chard, I keep forgetting what it's called in English, I'm just putting you know, a nice wee bit of the stuffing in there. To be honest, mom kept telling me that this was too much, but I think it was all right, to be honest. And then I'm just wrapping it nice and easy. A bit messy, as you can see, but nice and easy. And basically we've just got 2 pots here because we were making a pot for my brother as well. So I'm actually going to have kind of half of what I've done in the video in the description, because this made a large amount, 2 pots rather than 1. And then if you wanted to use some vine leaves as well, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan, but we put some in my brother's pot, and then we actually added some to ours as well, because even if you don't like the texture, which I guess that's what I don't like about it, they give a really nice citrusy flavour. So just a few in there for whoever enjoys them would be good. And they're a little bit easier to wrap than the chard, to be honest, so they're nice to wrap up. And then as you can see, the pot looks beautiful at the end, nice and colourful. And then basically you can see my mum here just adding a few either chard leaves or vine leaves to the top, just to kind of close everything up. And then we're adding some, this is optional as well, we added some broad beans at the bottom, and then we're adding some at the top as well, just because they're very delicious. So they make a nice little addition, so definitely add them in if you like them. And then here I'm basically just adding some extra of that liquid mixture that I made before to the top, just for a bit extra flavour and also for a bit of moisture as well, because we didn't add any extra water. There was enough moisture from the vegetables in this one to keep everything, to cook everything nicely, so we didn't need to add in any water. And basically here I'm just adding a plate on the top to kind of weigh everything down, to make sure that the top was getting enough moisture as well. I ended up removing that blue plate, to be honest, it wasn't totally necessary, but just a plate on the top to kind of try and weigh everything down, and then we just covered it with a lid, and yeah, back to me. Okay, so the dolma has been cooking on a low heat for about an hour and 45 minutes. I'd say between an hour and a half to 2 hours is good, but just keep checking on it. But it's looking lovely, so I'm just gonna take the lid off here. Can have a wee look. We've got that wee plate in there that I put in earlier to kind of press it down, so I'm just gonna remove that. So this step is optional but highly recommended, although we only have part of a khubzaya left, of a piece of this bread. But if you can find some Arab bread like this, it's really tasty on the bottom, or even the kind of Lebanese flatbread, that works well also. It just kind of soaks up all the juice when we flip it, so I'm just going to stick that at the bottom here. Okay. And I'm going to grab my tray. This is my serving tray, and putting that on top so that I can flip everything over. I'm very nervous. Sorry. I've built it up so much now. Okay.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
راح ابكي.
Wow.
راح ابكي.
Yes, very good. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it is. I'm too excited. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it, and if you try it, of course, please do let me know. And yeah, let me know your variations of dolma. I know to a lot of people this won't be real dolma, but you're just haters. Okay, haters against the siddig. Anyway, thank you so much. Take care. See you in the next one, inshallah. Bye.